Do the same thing that I've always done, but do it better and in less time.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
Big hearty welcome out to each and every one of you. If you're new to the program, thank you for joining us. If you are old to the program, thanks for coming back. I want to talk to you today about repurposing our work when it comes to appraisal and when it comes to other things, specifically marketing. Stay tuned for that. I want to pause and remind you that we're sponsored by Synapse. Synapse is helping appraisers to support their adjustments, plain and simple. Check them out by going to sparkforappraisers.com and clicking on the little button in the middle for Synapse, sparkforappraisers.com. All right, folks, I want to talk about the phrase repurposing your work. What does that mean to repurpose your work? Well, folks, I am a big efficiency person. You know that. That's how I have built my business. For years and years and years, I did it like everybody else did it, right? And I got what everybody else got. And then I woke up one day and thought, you know what, there's a better way. And one of the principles that I learned was efficiency, being able to do the same thing better in less time. Let me repeat that. Do the same thing that I've always done, but do it better and in less time. I found that I could quadruple my work very easily. In fact, it happened within 3 years. I quadrupled my work. I quadrupled my gross income because I started using these principles. One of the principles, again, is efficiency, allowing myself to be open to new things, to think outside the box, to use technology, to use human resources, to use systems that I did not use before. And yes, I got a lot of slack for that. Yes, I have my BJs, Bill Johnson out there, who just cannot stand the idea of somebody being successful in the business that he chose to not be successful in. But I digress just a little bit. The idea of efficiencies is, well, that's where it's at. That's what makes all the difference. When people come to me for private coaching, often I think they're looking for that magical formula, if you will. And yes, I've got a formula. Yes, absolutely, I will share that with you. That's part of coaching, right? But there's not just one thing that you do and all of a sudden, tomorrow you wake up and your appraisal office is absolutely incredibly amazing. That's not how it works. Instead, what happens is I give you, and we work together on finding solutions to your issues, and we use technology, we use human resources, we use systems that are proven, but they are very catered to your situation. In other words, it's not about one thing. It's about a lot of little things. Speaking of little things that make a big difference, what about Synapse? Have you considered it? Folks, I want you to imagine that you are standing before your state board and they pull a random appraisal and they say to you, Dustin, you adjusted $5,500 per bay for differences in garage. Why? Where did you get that number? Folks, does that question freak you out a little bit? I will tell you it will not freak you out if you have Synapse, because not only will Synapse help you to support those adjustments, it will show you where it came from. It is absolutely not a black box. It is very clear where those numbers came from. You'll have the ability to support your adjustments like never before. Check it out by going to the website sparkforappraisers.com, sparkforappraisers.com, and click on the Synapse button. And welcome back to the program. I want to share with you a principle that I have utilized in my business for many years, both in my appraisal business and coaching business and other businesses. It's the idea of repurposing. What does repurposing mean? Well, it simply means if you're going to put in the effort here on A, can you reuse that effort somewhere else? Let me give you an example. Many of you may not have noticed, but some of my blog posts are eerily similar to my podcasts. Why is that? Well, folks, the information in my blog and my podcast are, well, they're good information that I want to get out to appraisers. And some of you read blogs and some of you listen to podcasts and some of you do both. Not many of you do, right? Some of us are audio learners. Some of us are visual learners. Some of us would rather read. Some of us would rather listen. The information that is out there, why do it twice? Why do it twice? I'm using technology and human resources to repurpose that work. Let me give you another example. Marketing, right? If you are going to, I don't know, create a video for marketing your business, is there a way to take that video and send it not to the one person that you're targeting, but to multiple people that you are targeting? This is called repurposing your work. I'll give you another quick example when it comes to appraisal. Years ago, lots of people were asking about solar in Idaho. Solar in Idaho. Is there value for solar in Idaho? And I went to my good friend Mark Buehler, big shout out to Mark, a great guy and very knowledgeable in this field, and talked to him for hours. Probably drove Mark nuts. Dustin, dude, just take my class, right? No, he didn't do that at all. He was very kind, very gracious, as he always is. But I learned a lot about solar. And one of the things that I learned is I wanted to do some paired sales analysis to find out if solar had value in Idaho. Folks, I will tell you that I spent a lot of hours. What sticks in my head is 12 to 14. I don't remember for sure. But I did a huge study when it came to solar in Idaho. Folks, I was able to reuse that work, not just in one appraisal, but probably a dozen plus appraisals, right? The time and energy that I spent, though I got paid for it up front because I did it for a specific appraisal purpose, I was able to use that data, use that information, and repurpose it again. Another study that comes to mind is one I did years ago when it comes to the Teton Mountains. The Teton Mountains are beautiful. If you live in Driggs or Victor or on the other side in Jackson Hole, Wyoming or Moran, then the view of the Tetons can, and I leave a question mark there, can be beneficial. Is it beneficial in the sense that it gives more value? Well, I did a study and found out a certain data point that I could utilize. And folks, I've utilized that many, many times. But here's the deal. You got to keep track of that information. You got to store that information. You've got to reference that information in such a way that you can dig it up later on. Because later on, you're going to think, and this is 3 to 6 months later, oh, I've got another situation that's just like the one I had 3 to 6 months earlier. Where's that study? Where's that information? Folks, I will just share with you that the idea, the principle of repurposing information, repurposing work that you have done has saved me, well, I was going to say millions, maybe not millions, but tens of thousands of dollars over the years. It has saved me work. It has saved me time. Think through what you do on a regular basis. Whenever I do anything, and I really do mean that, whenever I do anything, it is not unusual for me to think, how can I utilize this task, this time, this information that I'm gathering down the road? Folks, I love sharing this kind of information with you, and I love sharing it on a one-on-one basis. If you are in need of coaching, I would love to be that coach for you. Please reach out to me. I am found on my email, thecoach@theappraisercoach.com. One more time, it's thecoach@theappraisercoach.com.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.